I'm going to just keep talking like this and laughing at whatever Graham says.
Nice.
Woot, woot, woot. Mike Agerbo here with Graham Williams and John Biehler. This is kind of a fun show. We are recording this from Las Vegas. We are at the Consumer Electronics Show. We've been here all week checking out the latest in tech and gadgets. All the stuff, technology is going to be happening over the next 5 to 10 years. An exciting time every January for us. Let's look at the numbers, guys. Apparently over 175,000 attendees this year. That's a lot of geeks in one place.
That's up like 50,000 from about 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's way up.
It seems to go up about 10 or 20 a year.
Yeah.
And as far as exhibitors, 4,400
Yeah.
different exhibitors and close to 3 million square feet of exhibit space. It's just there's not enough time in the week to actually see everything that's here. It's over many different convention halls and buildings across the city.
There's some really cool things going across all of those exhibit halls as well. There's sort of the Las Vegas Convention Center, which feels like the main space, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the Sands, which feels a little more esoteric. There's some fun, crazy stuff. And then you've got some of the smaller places and the suites where I think the craziest things go on.
Very much so. And there's also weird stuff happening here as well. They're building in a complete new convention center to attach to the main one here. And as we speak, Elon Musk with his Boring Company drilling tunnels below the convention centers to connect them all together.
Perfect.
I thought that was actually for the invasion of the mole people. Is that not?
It is.
Well,
it is. It's not going to be ready, though, till next CES, apparently.
Well, I mean, we experienced this today, just getting to the LVCC, where traffic is just a nightmare, and everyone's taking ride shares from all the hotels to get here at the same time.
Yeah, and you've got, 4 fully grown men trying to cram themselves into a Camry. It's not a good choice.
Well, it's interesting because we're going to be touching today on a bunch of different technologies that we've been seeing down here. Everything from TVs to smart makeup applicators to autonomous cars. You know how we're all complaining in Vancouver that we haven't got rideshare yet? In 5 years, it won't even matter anymore. It'll be a whole new ball game, and we'll be touching on that with some news from Intel. But starting off, maybe let's just talk about TV. TV and televisions and the TV manufacturers, I think for many, many years have kind of driven this show. I think they're kind of taking more of a back seat lately in the past few years, but saw some pretty interesting innovations. Did you get a chance to check out the Samsung booth, Graham?
I did, yeah. And I mean, this is sort of the interesting thing about the market. You've got a couple of big players, right? Samsung has always been up there, and they're really making a play with their QLED stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You've got LG, who they've gone all in on OLED, and they've kind of brought some people with them, right? Sony's jumped on the OLED train, and they're buying LG panels. Vizio's doing the same thing. And then you've got some of the dark horses out there, right? Like TCL.
Well, they're not a dark horse. They're like the #1 TV seller in the U.S. now.
It's kind of crazy.
And becoming that in Canada.
3 years ago, I walked through the TCL booth and was like, these are the ugliest televisions that I have ever seen. And you walk through now and you're like, they've hired a designer and they look sleek and sexy.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. Right?
And cheap.
Yeah, they're low cost.
This happened in record time because we saw this with RCA to some of the Japanese televisions and Japanese televisions to Korean televisions, and now we're seeing Korean televisions to Chinese televisions.
Yes.
But the cycle in the market has become so much shorter. 3 years from I would never have that in my living room to actually that's a beautiful piece of hardware.
Let's talk about some of the TVs that Samsung had on display. 8K. They've already got 8K TVs. Like, for the love of God. I don't even think everyone's upgraded to 4K TVs yet.
Correct.
And so they're displaying these 8K TVs, and there is literally no content for them.
You get a demo DVD with the TV.
Who has a DVD anymore, or whatever, the Blu-ray or whatever you're gonna? You'd have to get an 8K Blu-ray. I don't even know if
thumb drive.
Thumb drive, okay.
We were having the same conversation that we had, 6-7 years ago when 4K came out?
Yeah.
And was it 10 years before that when HD came out? There was no content. There's no content. Of course, there's no content right now. Now, here's kind of where the difference is, though, right? Going from standard def to HD was a huge jump.
Yeah, it's like going to VHS to DVD almost, yeah.
Yeah, going from HD to 4K, again, quite a big jump. Now, there gets a point where you can't actually resolve that distance or that resolution in TV. So it's either got to be big enough or you got to be close enough. Otherwise, it doesn't make a difference for HD. I gotta tell you, I'm looking at these 8K displays right now, and they're like, wow, they're bright and they're beautiful. I can't see the difference between 4 and 8 on the majority of the content at most distances.
Yeah.
You got to get right up close.
Well, I think it'll really depend on the type of content you want to watch on those displays as well, right? Like, I think we're all in agreement Star Wars will have to be available in 8K before we really make that jump.
So the question here is for consumers right now, like, should you give a good goddamn about 8K right now?
No.
No,
Absolutely
not at all.
Because again, no content, and it's going to be years.
Yeah, I mean,
literally years.
If you even think about the price of a television, 8K is not in your buying sphere for the next probably 5 to 10.
I'd say 5 years.
I'd say
5
5,
years?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at some of the other innovations Samsung has. I thought this was pretty cool. Their newer models coming out this year will have voice assistants built in. So Samsung's always been big on their Bixby. That I think if you ask most people, they don't even know what Bixby is. But the good thing is that they're also building in the other ones. So right off the bat, with the new ones launching this year, they'll have Amazon Alexa built in as a voice assistant, and coming in later in the year, apparently Google Assistant as well. So you'll be able to control your TV, tell your TV what shows you want to watch, tell it to turn on and off with your voice.
I don't think Graham's sold.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with this one.
No,
right?
why?
Well, because that's the thing. Like, I haven't.
I can never find my remote control. I can find my voice. Another one that I liked was the multi-view. And I don't know if you saw this. They have these TVs now, Samsung does, with the multi-view feature. So, if you look at most families now watching TV, I would say most of the family members, especially the younger ones, have got their phones on. They've got the second screen going. They're tweeting, looking at social media. Well, with this new TV, you can actually send that screen up onto the TV itself. So it can either be an overlay on the side of what you're watching, or it can do a true split. So you can be watching the football game and you can have your Twitter feed up on the side, or a YouTube feed.
That's. Are you going to use this?
Well, if they gave me a Samsung TV, sure.
I think one use case for it might be interesting, though, and it's a pretty narrow one, is you're watching the Oscars and you want to see what happens on Twitter as the awards are being unveiled. But other than that...
So this actually isn't terribly new, though, because we did see the like Twitter apps and a few other things being built into the television at one point. And I think the problem there was that the television manufacturers had to then maintain those apps, which they didn't. So the idea of being able to like beam your screen, cool. Now the onus is basically on the app developer to make sure that their app stays up to date, which they are, which is great. But it's kind of funny because like when I look around at my friends and family members when they are on their phones, it's because they're having conversations and doing.
You don't want to publish that to the whole family up on the screen, eh? Oh, we shouldn't be reading that.
That's not a
Grandma's drunk
conversation,
again,
right? So interesting, and this actually kind of brings me to what I'm seeing right now with the television market, which is, a lot of the displays that we have are great, right? Like great color, fantastic inputs, low latency for gaming, all of this stuff. They all do, Dolby, HDR, and that kind of thing. And so we're getting to the point where it becomes, what can I now put into this so that you feel like you need a new television again? Because we got onto this fast cycle of replacing TVs.
I don't think there's enough yet.
No, and I mean like 3D TVs didn't really fly.
Curved
TVs didn't really fly. So I mean, for myself, I own a 4.5-year-old Vizio M70C3, 70-inch television, beautiful, no HDR. That's a selling point for me. And only one of the inputs actually does 4K at 60 frames a second, which as a gamer, that's important for me. Their equivalent model this year actually sells for less than I paid for mine.
It always does. It always does, Graham.
And now all of the inputs. So I actually have a reason, but it's not sexy. It's this stuff that's under the hood, right? You don't look at it right away and go, I need a new TV. So I think the motivational factor for a lot of people is challenging. So we are kind of coming across some of these somewhat gimmicky features. Voice, I'll give you. Beaming my text message to the screen, I think I'm probably going to pass on that one.
I want to talk about a technology that Intel was demonstrating, volumetric video cloud processing and streaming. Okay, it sounds like a mouthful, but here, I want to set the stage for you. This is an incredible technology. They showed a demo of a football game. And so, in the stadium, there's cameras everywhere covering the game. Well, they showed the game in the end zone. So you can see right down the field, the players are all there. And what we learned was there's no camera there. It's a virtual camera angle. They have taken the information from all the other cameras and reconstructed what it thinks that video should be at that particular camera angle. And then the play happened, and you could even zoom in on the player that caught the ball and running into the end zone. It's like Madden 2019, you know what I mean? Like it's like a PlayStation game, but with real people.
So you've got ultimate control over what it is that you are seeing here, despite the fact that there's no camera recording that. That, to me, that is a sexy technology.
It is sexy, but can you imagine the sheer amount of processing and data? So right now at this point, within 2 years, back in 2017, they were getting 1 frame every 3 minutes. And so within 2 years, the processing power has increased enough to get 30 frames a second at medium quality. And so they say to get to the next leap, 60 frames a second at high quality, they need 6 times the computing power. They say they need 2 years for that.
Now, did they say how many cameras they need to make this work? Roughly?
No.
It wasn't bristling with cameras, but there were enough cameras in order to get.
Yeah, I think you'd have
angles.
to have enough on it, but
we can't go back to the Zapruder film and figure out if Lee Harvey Oswald actually made the shot. But with enough cameras,
I'm just telling you right now, and the listeners should be really looking at this type of technology because it is going to change our world in the next 10 years. As far as TV shows and movies, surveillance footage, like if they have this technology to recreate angles that didn't exist before, what's going to happen?
I mean, we saw this. Gene Hackman, Will Smith, Enemy of the State, they had postulated this 20 years ago as technology that the CIA had, and now we have it, and it's going to be in your living room. For sports, that's amazing. I'm pretty excited.
We're covering all the hottest gadgets and technology. They're going to be coming out this year and for years to come. When we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about robots. How would you like a little robot assistant following you around the home?
Kind of love it, actually.
This is where all the nerds come every year to see what's going to be hot and exciting as far as tech is concerned. In today's program, we're going to cover all of that, everything from health and beauty to robots. We've got it all. Don't forget to hit our website. Got a great contest going, giving away an Amazon Echo Show 8 with the Alexa voice assistant. This is a digital speaker with a cool 8-inch touchscreen built into it. To win, subscribe to our newsletter. And the cool thing is, once you subscribe to our newsletter, you're entered into every contest going forward. We're giving away thousands of prizes this year. You need to visit the site, GetConnectedMedia.com.
I will like to point out that to subscribe to the newsletter, you actually have to fill in a form. You can't fill in the feedback form to us. You're not going to be entered unless you actually fill in the newsletter subscription form, which is on our website. I say this because we get a lot of emails, people saying, sign me up. I'm like, no, you do it yourself.
We love you.
We got the prizes.
Yeah.
Fill out the form, please.
Yeah.
Okay, robots.
Yeah.
Samsung, at their keynote speech here, announced a new robot. It's a ball.
Let me set the stage first, though.
Okay.
They had their the CEO came out and he's introducing something. We don't know what yet. So everyone's expecting like a full-size thing to come out. This tiny little ball rolls across this floor.
It's about the size of like a 5-pin bowling ball.
Yeah. And some people couldn't even see it because the crowd was so packed because it's so small on the floor. But then they switched the camera view behind him to the ball's perspective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because this thing's got a camera built into it, and it rolls around.
Think of like BB-8
From Star Wars?
Yeah, without the hat.
So BB4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. So this is a ball, a robotic ball that follows you around the home. Why?
Well, there's a couple use cases.
Okay.
One is you can use it as a sentry. So you can actually have a camera that you can move around your house from a security standpoint.
Is this thing armed?
Not yet.
Can it be?
I can't see why not.
Fair.
The demo footage that they showed it interacting with kids, interacting with pets, entertaining a pet while you're away, that type of thing. An interesting use case is they actually had a cat that knocked over a box of cereal all over the floor, and then Bali, which is its name, sent out the cleaning robot to clean it up.
Didn't that happen in The Fifth Element? That's right.
I think so. Yeah.
A beautiful ballet, so full of form and color.
But it's a beautiful little robot.
It's a nice little robot. It's very it doesn't look like it should do what it can do.
They really reached for the name, though, eh? Bali.
Okay, so did you see the robot chef in the Samsung kitchen?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I can't even explain this. It's look at your cooktop and imagine giant robot arms coming down from the top. And that's called the Bot Chef by Samsung. And so this thing, I guess it can make you dinner.
Yeah.
With its robot arms and hands.
It's like Dr. Octopus had a baby with a kitchen, and you've got this.
I mean, I couldn't imagine seeing this here, but it's here. This is something you see like in the Jetsons.
Yeah, but do you want that robot to be wielding a knife?
This is the undertone of any robotics segment is, Skynet. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is that we're worried that there are going to be safeguards that robots don't currently have. In fiction, Isaac Asimov has his 3 laws of robotics. The first being that no robot shall allow any human being through action or inaction to come to harm. Right? And I think that's really the big thing that we're worried about here. We're arming drones. We're doing all of this sort of crazy stuff. We've got Bali wandering around with a Colt 45. We're worried about this stuff, and I think rightly so. We talked earlier about governments not being able to put these standards in place. Is it time for tech companies to look at their robots and go, okay, do we need to have a set of standards or a set of code that is equal across all robots, that is going to, one, ensure the preservation of humans and human property, and then the robot itself?
So we're not going to have that until some robots kill people. Right?
Yeah.
As a species, we're very reactionary.
The Bot Chef is going to have to strangle somebody first, I think.
Put those eggs down, human. Okay, we're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're down at the Consumer Electronics Show talking about all the cool and hot technology. Up next, health and beauty tech. For the ladies out there, how would you like to have a little dispenser on your bathroom counter that customized your lipstick and your foundation for you every single day to whatever color you want? Well, we're going to tell you all about it. We're in Las Vegas, trying to see all the technology in 3 million square feet of exhibit halls.
I think we're going to make it happen.
We're doing pretty good. CES is just a weird show. All day we're running around. Like early in the morning, we're up at 6:30, 7 in the morning doing radio and TV hits and interviews. Then we got to go throughout the day and find more stuff to cover. And then at night there's like a zillion parties going on that all the manufacturers put on, trying to curry favor with journalists. They do a pretty good job of trying to do that.
I feel like I've been fairly wooed.
Yes. Let's talk about some of the health and beauty stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big theme for me at this particular show. There's a lot of this technology that I think is actually starting to work and make sense and is not crazy.
Yeah.
So one of the ones, LOreal has been really pushing technology over the past few years. They had a little skin monitor that you could strap onto a watch or a bracelet that would give you a UV rating throughout the day to help you with your skin. Well, now they've announced the Perso, and this is a little makeup dispenser. And let me explain. It's about the size of a soda can, and it takes 3 individual cartridges, and it can actually create customized foundation, skincare serums, and lipstick. So through the app on your smartphone, you take a picture or scan your face, and it will actually come up with the right foundation for your face and your skin.
Unreal.
And to the color of your skin as well.
See, that's pretty cool, because I know in the past that when you go in to buy makeup, you sit there and there's a process to try to find the right color of foundation. And let's face it, our skin tone doesn't stay the same all of the time. It changes throughout the year. Being able to have something customized per application, that actually sounds like a really cool thing.
And so even lipstick. So you could go in through the app and select whatever color you wanted, and it will create that shade for you. And it basically kind of spritzes it up to the top of the dispenser there, and then you just use your fingers or an applicator.
That's kind of like
to get
the Fifth Element too, where they had the nail paint. The secretary was painting her nails.
Yeah.
Just by tapping them, but being able to have custom, on-demand makeup, having your own makeup counter, basically.
Well, and let's face it, a lot of the time there are the banks of lipsticks where you're trying to find something to match the right outfit. If you don't need to have those individual colors in all of those pieces, this is going to save people time. It's going to save people money. Great little idea. Well done, L'Oreal.
Something interesting I saw, I kind of liked, because I've got a scale in my bathroom. And I hate dragging the thing out because it's not just sitting out there. Like I have to drag it out from underneath the counter, and
that's work.
And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm still fat. And
Does
what
your
am I
Apple Watch
doing?
say you're doing a workout when you're doing
Yeah,
that?
well, my Apple Watch is always telling me, stand up, get some exercise. Everyone is shaming me. All my technology is shaming me. So there's this new smart bath mat. Okay, so you basically use it as a bath mat, and it's got 7,000 sensors on it, and works in conjunction with your smartphone through the app, and it'll give you your weight every day, and it'll also tell you about your posture as well.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And give you tips on how to do different types of exercises to get better posture and maybe lose some weight.
I've got a first generation Fitbit Aria scale, and it's kind of getting a little long in the tooth.
Is that the one that tweets your weight to you?
Again, yes. Yeah.
Again, shaming you.
Shaming for everyone.
Yeah, through technology.
So this might actually. Did they have a price for that?
No. So a lot of the things we're talking about today are prototypes and
Yeah.
aren't necessarily out in the market yet. So that
I'd
one
say
I
a
didn't
good
have a price.
60% is not going to reach market.
Yeah, and if it does, you are not going to see it until Christmas.
Right.
Or later
Yeah.
in some cases. Diapers.
No, thank you.
I apparently had cloth diapers when I was a baby.
Really?
Yes. And so I've had 3 kids, and they've all gone through diapers. Thank God there were disposable diapers. Well, Pampers is taking that to the next level. They've got a whole connected baby system called Lumi. Who doesn't want a connected baby? So this consists of a number of different pieces. One, they've got a smart baby monitor. So you aim this thing at your baby in the crib, and through your smartphone, obviously you can be down watching some TV because your baby's sleeping, and you can check in on your baby.
Fair.
But it also is monitoring its activity as well to see how restless it is and if it's sleeping. And so over time, you're going to get an activity monitoring.
A baby quality score.
A baby quality score. How good is your baby? And taking that a step further, they've got special diapers. So they have this little round sensor, looked a little bit bigger than a toonie. And it has to work with these special Pampers diapers. But you stick it right on the front, and that little sensor will tell you, again, activity of the baby, if it's sleeping or kind of tossing and turning. And it'll let you know when the diaper is wet or, got some of that other stuff in it.
Will it tweet that out?
No, it'll notify you, though. I'm sure you could work something out to tweet it.
That's pretty smart. I mean, when we look at having kids, probably the biggest thing for new parents is you don't know what you don't know, right? And it's an intimidating time for a lot of people. So having more data seems like it would be a good thing.
So if you were to have kids,
Yeah.
either of you guys right now, would you want a connected baby?
No.
No. You could figure out when the diaper's wet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That look on their face.
Or they're crying?
Yeah.
I'd take a connected baby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like baby's got Bluetooth. I'm in. Great. Sign me up for one.
Okay, so another thing I saw that was kind of interesting for the guys out there that are wondering if their little guys can still swim, they have a sperm monitoring kit that you can buy for $70 US.
So if you're looking to have a connected baby, this is a great way to make sure that you are on the right road.
No, this is a whole system, guys.
Yeah.
Like you get it. I guess you put the stuff into it,
Yeah.
and it will actually give you a mobility count of your sperm, and you can actually get a little video of your little guy swimming around.
Will it tweet that out for you?
I'm sure if you wanted to tweet that out.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad idea. It's cheaper than owning a pet,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know. I mean, but it's kind of interesting that they can bring that technology
These
into
aren't
homes
sea
now.
monkeys.
They're not sea monkeys.
Not with that attitude, they're not.
These are.
No, it's a neat bit of technology, and I know for a lot of people, like going in for fertility testing and that sort of thing, it's time consuming, right? You're getting yourself into the medical system. It's taking up resources. If you had a chance to check things at home for, what was it, $70 US?
Yeah, it's not bad,
That's
right?
kind of the first stop, right?
Yeah.
So can I tell you about something cool that I saw?
Okay.
I brushed my teeth with radio frequencies for the first time this morning.
So explain this. So we see Oral-B and Philips Sonicare,
Yeah.
the electric toothbrushes,
Yes.
and they're just basically vibrating super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and it's vibrating those bristles, and those bristles are they're agitating the things off your teeth. So this is from a company called Silicon. The product's called Happy Teeth. And basically what it is it is a radio frequency emitter. It still looks like a regular toothbrush. It's got a silicone strip down the middle. And you do gently massage your teeth. But what it does is it uses radio frequency to break up tartar and plaque on your teeth. And so there are 3 frequencies that you can run at. There's a low, a medium, and a high. And they're quite melodic. The moment that you touch it to your teeth, you hear it because it basically uses your whole head as a resonant cavity. I'm sure this is great for me. Well, they've done all the FDA testing, so.
But does it work with Spotify?
It does indeed. I threw in some Little John there, and it was great.
So you tried it.
Yes.
How different is it from using a regular one?
It's just like using a regular toothbrush, right? You run under some water, you throw a little bit of toothpaste on there, you stick it in your mouth, you hit the button.
And it vibrates?
And it's vibrating with radio frequency. Now, they've actually put a vibrational motor in there because, believe it or not, the radio frequency, you don't have to feel it or hear it. It'll just do the work anyway. But they were finding that without actually feeling something, people didn't feel like anything was getting done. And I can say my teeth felt just as clean, or if not cleaner, than had I brushed them with my regular brush. And they do say after about 2 weeks to a month, you'll notice your teeth are whiter, you're going to have less tartar and less plaque on them. And they do say that when you go to the dentist, you're going to have less of a hard time, especially if your dentist asks you to lie to them and tell you that you're flossing every day. So...
another company I saw down here that was spending a lot of money on advertising, DNA Nudge.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see this?
I saw them. What are they?
It's a home DNA kit. So you do the whole thing at home. It sends the kit to you. You put the sample into the unit, and it then analyzes your DNA. Comes with a bracelet with a scanner on it as well. And the idea is that by analyzing your DNA, it'll best be able to tell you what foods you should and shouldn't be eating.
Okay.
I don't know what science is involved in this sorcery.
I was thinking it's like a home crime lab.
Neat.
It's not that.
Now
not
here's
yet.
the question that I have with any of these DNA things is, are they sending those DNA records to anyone else? And
I don't know.
Because
I thought that was one of the things, but this particular one is it stays home.
So if that's the case, I am so in, because I've been intrigued by things like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, but I don't want to send my DNA to anyone else. Buy me dinner first.
Doesn't
I'm not
want
doing
the
this.
cops tracking him down for a crime he committed 10 years ago.
Right?
So this bracelet scanner, when you're at the grocery store, it scans the barcodes of the food that you're looking at, and basically will through haptic feedback, either like buzz you like no.
It'll shame you.
It'll shame you, yes. Or yeah, hey, that's something that you should be eating.
I love this idea. I'm gonna go have to check these guys out.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to take another break. When we come back, we are going to check out some other cool tech that we saw here, including a drone. It's like a watchdog drone that chases intruders away.
Is it armed?
No, I know you want an armed drone, but no. We got a great contest going on our website. Subscribe to our newsletter, GetConnectedMedia.com. GetConnectedMedia.com, again, is the address. Go to the newsletter tab, subscribe, and you'll be entered to win an Amazon Echo Show 8 with Alexa Voice Assistant. This is a touchscreen digital speaker. It is super awesome, and we'll be giving away this and thousands of dollars of other prizes this year, so enter. We're at CES in Las Vegas, checking out all the cool gear and technology down here. Wanted to talk about some of the other cool stuff that we saw. Something that I thought was super interesting was from Wallbox.
Yes.
And this is a company by some ex-Tesla people, and it's an EV charger for your home that not only will charge your car, but if the house needs electricity, it can take that electricity back out of the car battery.
This is absolutely brilliant.
It is amazing. So right now it only works with the Nissan Leaf. I think it's the CHAdeMO connector. And I think Mitsubishi and a few others out there, they're going to be making different versions of this. It's expensive. It's $4,000 US for this unit. But just think about this. They say with the Nissan Leaf, which isn't the biggest battery in the world, it's an electric car, it can power an average home for about 4 days if there was a blackout.
Now, we need to put some perspective on this. It's $4,000, but it is also an EV charger,
Yes.
right? So those usually run about $2,500, if not more Canadian, right? So reasonably speaking, this is actually an incredible value. And when you think about, especially like on the West Coast, Vancouver, there is the risk of things like earthquake or flood. The idea that our power grid could be overwhelmed, you could be left without power for quite some time. I was in Ontario during the Great Blackout, 2 of the Great Blackouts. The one in, was it 2014, 2013, and I think 2006 as well, where it was like 3 or 4 days for some people to get power back. So being able to basically just flip a switch and have my car power the house and be able to have some essential services for that amount of time. This is brilliant. Love it.
So I'm gonna get one
Yeah.
of these days here. I think it's brilliant. Once they come out with a Tesla model.
So this is actually from ex-Tesla people, right?
Yeah.
You don't get fired and you don't leave Tesla, right?
Yeah.
You get discharged.
Oh, boo. Moving on to other tech, John, I know this next one you were totally fascinated by, called the Prinker.
Yeah, this is a small little
Sounds a little weird, but
a little handheld box that pairs with your smartphone. You have an app. You can choose in the app right now they have about 5,000 different images, emoticons, graphics, and that type of thing. You can draw your own right in the app, or you can even upload your own to the app. And then you take the little box, you spray a little alcohol spray onto your arm, and then you take the box and you literally just run it over your arm or whatever body part, and it deposits in real time, in full color, a temporary tattoo.
it's actually really cool. Like you got a little beer.
Yeah, I was
Sign.
just scrolling quickly through, and I just picked one that wasn't My Little Pony, and I got a little mug of beer on my arm.
Neat.
And it's kind of like makeup. It wipes off pretty easily, but it can set and sort of last all day and through the night. But
You were saying a fixative would actually put that on there as more of a semi-permanent for a couple of days or weeks.
yeah, just so it didn't smudge kind of thing.
This
but
is great if you're deciding if you want a facial tattoo.
yeah,
We're going to have to take another break. When we come back, we'll still be covering here CES, or Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. We're going to talk about some of the weird and wacky technology that we've seen as well. We're in Las Vegas. We're almost done. We've managed to survive this far. Don't know about our livers, but we're excited to be talking today about some of the cool tech that we've seen down here. This segment, I wanted to call out some of the weird tech. And I'm going to throw this one to you, Graham, because you seemed to have made a little friend the other night. What was that thing called? It was a little robot.
So this was called the Lovot, right? And it's just a tiny little robot whose entire purpose is to love you. Think of it like sort of a squat little penguin-like thing.
About the size of a penguin.
Yeah, with huge eyes, right?
he looked a little steampunk too.
Yeah, a little bit. He's got a big camera on the top of his head, and he actually recognizes his voice. The one that fell in love with me was named Orahu, and
Arahu?
Orahu, and so when you picked it up, because it'll come over to you, and it's got these tiny little wing-like arms. This one was wearing a cute little plaid shirt, and it puts its arms up, and it makes a noise like "pick me up." And if you have any sort of heart whatsoever that hasn't shriveled into a black and dusky husk, you're gonna pick the darn thing up, and I did, and I loved it.
So
Mike kicked it.
it does not love me. And what was funny, like everyone around was just like, "Oh," and then Graham put this little robot down, and we had to go to another event. And you started walking away, and it got really sad and started making little noises.
It followed me, so I picked it up again. I said I would see it again at some point. It's $3,000 for this thing, which reasonably speaking, is way cheaper than having kids.
It is.
Right?
Or pets,
Or
arguably.
pets. Yeah.
Don't forget to hit the contest page. GetConnectedMedia.com, giving away an Amazon Echo Show 8 with Alexa. It's a digital touchscreen voice assistant with a cool speaker built into it. This thing is awesome. GetConnectedMedia.com is the website. Hit the newsletter tab there. If you subscribe to our newsletter, you get entered in to win all of the contests. And we're giving away thousands of dollars of prizes this year. This is Mike, Graham, and John signing off from Las Vegas. We'll see you again next week.